Acoustic Agent is a next-generation virtual acoustic drummer offering incredible sounds and an integrated player that creates the perfect accompaniment for your songs. Acoustic Agent comes with 3 outstanding drum kits, including a rock kit, recorded from the highest quality drums and cymbals in the world, a studio kit which offers incredible sonic accuracy and detail, and a vintage kit which fits great with vintage styles like soul, blues, or 70s rock. But the most revolutionary element is the style player. This remarkable feature can conjure up more than 50 different grooves in a wide range of styles. Everything from blues to punk, hip-hop to indie rock. It's perfect for any contemporary music style. And unlike previous attempts at automated accompaniment, you have control over the intensity and complexity of the style player's drumming. On the edit page for the instrument pads, you can set up the sound for the selected kit. When you click on a pad, the drum assigned to it is outlined in yellow, and each time the sound plays, that drum will darken momentarily. You can play the sound at different velocities by clicking higher or lower on the pads. You can also click directly on the drums shown in the edit display to hear their sounds. Now, if you don't hear anything, check that this mute instrument trigger function is turned off. Each drum has a unique set of parameters and articulations. That's because each drum in Groove Agent 4 was recorded with multiple microphones, so that you have the option to control the level of the room mics and the overhead mics. You can also control the amount of different sounds that bleed into specific channels. Some instruments, like the kick and snare, were recorded with multiple drums, so you have the option to choose between 2 alternatives. And the hi-hat has even more control, allowing you to vary the amount of shank, tip, and foot, as well as how far open the individual cymbals are when at rest. Now, once you have the sound dialed in, switch the pad area into pattern mode. Now, the Edit Display window shows you the acoustic agent on the Agent tab. With the style selection active, you have access to the style player. You can switch between pattern types by moving the dial or by clicking on the corresponding pad. You can choose between 4 intros, 8 fills, and 4 different endings. And you can modify the complexity of the main drum patterns. Increasing the complexity can add more notes, change from hi-hat to ride or from snare to toms, for example. And this allows you to introduce a feel of freestyle playing into any pattern. And these parameters are MIDI learnable, and they can be automated as well or controlled by a MIDI device. You can set the complexity with the yellow triangle by typing in the value or by clicking and dragging on the XY controller. Now, the intensity is controlled via the Y-axis of the XY controller of the style player, and all patterns support the intensity parameter. The patterns play at their original velocity at the top position of the Y-axis. Decreasing the intensity means decreasing the velocity. You can set the intensity with the triangle, again by typing the value, or with the XY controller. Now, the option for auto complexity varies the complexity randomly, creating a less static feel. For example, the option for 1/1 varies the complexity randomly after a full bar. And when this is active, you'll see a yellow dot on the XY pad displaying the complexity value in real time. You also have the option to enable auto fill. This function allows the main pattern to play back a fill after a certain number of bars. This is really useful if you're just jamming with Groove Agent. So, for example, with a setting of 4, you get a fill every 4 bars. Each time the fill is randomly chosen from the 8 available fills. And Groove Agent even offers a crash mode to determine whether main patterns, intros and fills, and endings will play with crash cymbals to more closely represent real-world technique. Each agent comes with a dedicated agent mixer that contains agent-specific options and settings. There are also mixers for the auxiliary effects, for mixing from kit to kit, and a master mixer, and we'll look at those in another video. Agent mixer is where you perform your mixing for kits that come with the acoustic agent. The drum kits for the acoustic agent were recorded with multiple mics, so the agent mixer contains a channel strip for each microphone. Now, if the Groups tab is active, the agent mixer shows one channel strip for all of the kick drums, all of the snare drums, the hi-hats, and so forth. And the mixer displays separate channel strips for each of the close microphone channels for the selected instrument. So, for example, if you select the Cymbals tab, you have the ability to mix and pan each cymbal individually. Same for toms and so forth. Now, it's worth pointing out that the kick drum and snare drum were recorded with 2 mics as well. The kick was recorded with a main and an additional mic, and the snare drum with a top and bottom mic. And of course, the Room and Overhead tab contains channels for the room and overhead microphone balance. And notice that each channel has access to the 4 auxiliary sends. This allows for incredibly precise control over the sound of your kit. And at the bottom of each individual channel in the agent mixer, you get direct access to an EQ, a compressor, tape saturation, and even an envelope shaper, so every drum in your kit can be tweaked and sculpted to perfection. Now, Groove Agent 4 also introduces something called Jam Mode. Jam Mode allows you to automatically switch between pattern pads to help inspire spontaneity and creativity. And this is perfect if you just need a drum track to back you up while you're playing another instrument like a guitar or piano. You can switch from an intro to a verse, or from a fill back to the previous verse, or even automatically stop playback. Now, how the pattern pads behave in jam mode is defined by the jam states setting. In standard jam state, each pad you click is played exclusively. In next mode, playback jumps automatically to the first standard pad mapped higher up on the keyboard. In return mode, playback jumps back to the previous pad. Now this is handy to switch from a fill back to the previous pattern. And in stop mode, playback stops automatically after the pattern. You can identify which jam state you're in by the icons in the upper left corner of the pad. To learn more about this remarkable instrument, download Groove Agent 4 today and experience the ultimate drum studio.